What's up, everyone? Jerky Jones here. This is the second book, The Red Badge of Courage by Stephen Crane, the second book in my two-part book review series with the theme of running to save your ass. All right, let's get into it. So this book was written in 1964. It takes place in the Civil War. It is not a super big book. It's 150 pages, size of my hand. It's the font, the print, the spacing, the sizing, all that. Normal, typical book. Good little trusty paperback. I'm gonna rip this thing off because it's annoying me. This book I got for 50 cents at the Salvation Army store. 50 cents. This book is a American classic, I guess you could say, in a sense. Not your mainstream one, but it comes kind of just a level below. It is a very good book. It's pretty popular among like military books and circles and Civil War aficionados and stuff like that. I am not really one. I do play a Civil War game where you're on the PC, which is kind of fun. That's about as far as I know and much as I know. But I saw this book. I just picked it up because, like I said, it was cheap. It sounded cool, The Red Badge of Courage. I'm like, is that a movie? Have I heard of that before? So I had to pick it up, and I'm really glad I did. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. The main story is about this guy, a young boy, 18 years old, 19, Henry Fleming. He joins the Northern Army in the Civil War, the Union Army. He joins because, you know, he thinks it's cool. He thinks it's the right thing to do. He wants to have honor and wants to do his family proud, and all of his friends are signing up, and, you know, he wants to come back to town as a hero, and, you know, normal guy stuff. Well, that's why people join the army. Want to fight in battles and, you know, read stories of bravado and generals, and you want to live like that. You get it. But the catch is, when you join up for the army, you got to go and fight in the war. And it's not like in the books. It's real shit. Shit hits the fan real quick. And this story is about Henry Fleming, and he joins the army, and when he comes to his first battle, he runs. He cowards. He chickens out. Like, totally chicken shits out. The first 2 months, like the book starts, is like the end of 2 months. For 2 months, they've been trudging along. He's getting all pissed off at the generals. When we're going to fight, everyone wants to fight. Everyone wants to get into the battle. And then, you know, it's like, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7 pages in, they meet up with the bad guys, with the South. And as soon as they're all trudging along, Henry's got a real bad feeling. He suddenly regrets joining. He does not want to die. He's like, uh-oh, this is not good. Like, this is real now. So as soon as the first shots start going and they start charging and stuff, he runs the other way. He runs right into the forest, and he gets lost, and he's lost for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, something like that. And then he starts to think, oh no, like, I'm a traitor. Like, I have to go back, you know, like, well, what am I going to do? So he ends up, like, which is a very complicated, you know, conundrum to be in. Like, you run away from the army, and then what do? It's like, you go back with your head down low and whatever, you know, try to pretend. So anyways, he's lost in the woods. He starts seeing some of his guys, and he starts following them back, and no one's seeming to notice him so far. He did cut his head, like he fell or something like that, and he cut his head a bit, so, you know, people think he's bloody, they think he's injured. Usually he's not that injured. He starts to trudge back, and then he starts seeing guys from his army, from his group, and some of them are shot and dying, and he sees one guy, and the guy's like, hey, where were you? Well, where were you? I don't remember seeing you out there. And he's like, he freezes up, he gets so nervous, oh no. And then suddenly the guy like, passes over and dies. So then he keeps going, and then eventually it's nighttime now, and he finds his camp and his army and the guys he hangs with and stuff, and they're all like, Henry, you know, he's super nervous. He's thinking of all these excuses of what he's going to say to them and whatnot. He shows up, they're all like, where were you? Oh my God, Henry's alive. And they're all just so happy to see him alive. They don't even ask where he was or anything. They just assumed he was in the battle and got knocked out or something. You know, there's so much chaos going on. So he just rides with it. He's like, yeah, it was horrible, you know, but he feels really guilty and shameful. So then he heals up for a day or so. Not long. He's still got this bloody, crusty wound and stuff. And they're like, hey, let's get up. We're going to fight again. So this time he's like, I'm going to fucking fight. Like, I'm not running away. Even though he does get nervous, but he friggin' gives her. And he goes full out, like, Rambo mode. Shooting left, right, and center. Everyone's like, holy shit, this guy's crazy. But they love it, right? He's picking up the flag, charging the charge. They're battling it out. The general is like, promote that man. He needs to be a leader and stuff. But they don't promote him. But he says the compliment. Like Henry's all like, yeah. And anyways, he survives that battle. And basically the rest of the book, it's just him thinking. And he has another battle where they kind of get beat up and destroy, like where they lose and stuff, but they do find out that they, you know, have won overall and they are the victors, and he kind of redeems himself and holds his head up high. And at the end, it's funny because at the end, with the self-thought in the book, he becomes this like very hardcore veteran, and he's all suddenly like aged like 20 years in his mind, you know, and he has his honor and his all that back, kind of. But anyways, that's the story. My one complaint about the book is there was a lot of like dreaming and not a lot, but just a lot of like deep thought, and everyone talks in a very old 1700 like, gosh darn, do, and it's like, what's he saying? I can't even. So it wasn't the easiest of reads, but I really did like it. I really liked the battle scenes. They were very detailed. You felt like you were there. You know, you can sense the smoke billowing and the blue versus gray charging through the woods and stabbing each other. And it was intense. It was good. It's just sometimes there was some boring or dry parts where he's doing too much thinking or whatnot. And you're like, all right, let's move on. Like, pages and pages of him in dreamland worrying about things and stuff. But overall, it was good. I am going to give this book an 8.5 out of 10. It's not for everyone, but if you like war, if you like battles and stuff, you'll probably like it. And it wasn't too bad to read. You just got to stick with it, grind through it. The action picks up right away, and it keeps you involved. Red Badge of Courage, 8.5 out of 10. Alright folks, that's my duo review of the themed books, War of the Worlds and the Red Badge of Courage. I hope you liked it. Let me know if you've read these books in the comments, what you thought of them, if you like them, you know, all that good stuff. I especially want to know if anyone's read the Red Badge of Courage before, because I think it's a little more rare. I've heard of this one before, War of the Worlds, but I've never heard of this one. So anyways, please like, subscribe, Jerky Jones, if you want to see more book reviews, more crazy stuff, you know. How do you think I come up with all this stuff? It's from reading books. You gotta read books. Stay smart, folks. Anyways, hope you like that. Peace.